This is the adult crate bike. I just want to go through and show some features. It's in the shade, it's 100 degrees out here, so hopefully you can see this video. We start out with the 24-inch frame. Although this looks like the original crate, it's about 40% bigger. I'm 5'10", and I gotta sit in the middle of the seat to reach correctly, so it's definitely an adult-sized bike. The original has a 20-inch cantilever frame. This is a 24-inch cantilever frame from a 24-inch beach cruiser, and it's been powder coated metallic silver, and these are the exact same geometry as the original frames. It's just I have to buy an entire 24-inch bike and strip it down and start from scratch. That is a original Stingray chain ring. I just had it powder coated because these days the newest one you can get is 20 years old. They're usually rusted. You can see I went with the drum hub, but this is superior to the originals. The originals were steel. That's a machined Sturmey Archer drum hub. Basically a lifetime hub, especially on a pedal bike. This is just strictly a pedal edition. I also do in e-bike, which I do a rear e-hub with the 5-speed pedal option and the rear disc brake, and I also do a gas version with the gas engine inserted here. And on a bike this light, it flies. You've got the butterfly bars. I went with the original style Diacomp brake levers, looking at the retro light and mirrors and springer. Now this ain't the small springer like on the original, it's a bigger one to keep the aesthetics correct, the geometry correct on the bike. There's a number of decals you can get. I put the one on the stick shifter, that's original Stingray decal. The chain guard, I've got the gray ghost because that's what he was wanting to go for, the gray ghost look. I'm going to let him put it on. They're $15 each, and I just don't seem to have the knack for putting it on the chain guard, so at $15 a piece, I don't want to go through a couple failures. I told him I'd send it to him. He says he's good at that, so we're going to let the customer finish up that decal. The seat I take to the reupholster, and this happens to be something like some of the original seats were made out of, this metallic vinyl, but I haven't padded with it like an inch of motorcycle foam, so it's really comfortable. And then that combined with the shock absorbing seat post and the shock absorbing front, this thing's a pleasure to ride. And with the 5 speeds, it's all that. I went ahead and went with the retro speedometer, mirror, bell, and I threw the tassels on. I think they look cool. They match the bike, and even though it's for a guy, kind of gives it that authentic look. So I think you'll probably just leave them on there, but they can be taken off. You can see back here, I installed a rear light, but there's a double purpose. This acts as an additional support to keep this from going back and forth. And I actually went with a threaded rod all the way through for support to keep it from going back and forth. So it's a nice solid ride designed for an adult. You can see the disc brake. That is 180 millimeter. I believe it's 180 millimeter disc brakes. So between that and the front drum brake, pretty much got lifetime brakes on it. The front fender, they used to have a tube welded that came down to it. I didn't figure I'd go through all that. I'm just looking to give it the look, and that accomplishes it. I just went ahead and put a cross brace with the sport fender. On the rear fender, typically the fender would come all the way through, but this tire, this slick, this is the only 24-inch slick available anywhere in the world. And so in order for me to fit it in there, I had to jack that fender up a little bit, and it couldn't go under that cross brace. But each one of these, depending on which frame you get, has its own little things that you have to deal with and overcome. Turned out great, rides great. I'm going to be packing it up. The customer will be very pleased to get it. I can duplicate this in any color you like. They've got pea picker decals, orange crate. I'm going to be doing actually on a 26-inch frame, which the aesthetics are not as good, but I'm going to try to make a bike on a 26-inch frame for a very large man, over 350 pounds and 6'4". So we're going to have a challenge there. We're going to do a lot of fabrication to reinforce it. But the 24-inch is ideal for the adult, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit on the gas one since I have it here. I have a gas and a pedal bike here in stock. And, well, actually in-house. The gas bike is available for sale. But then the e-bike, it would just, like I said, be an e-hub, and then I put a small, very powerful battery and a tool bag in the back. And it looks the same. You can't hardly tell it's electric. Just go to my PedalChopper.com website and look up the Krate page, K-R-A-T-E. That's what Schwinn called these, the Schwinn Krate bike. And you can see the electric unit on that page. Okay, so here's the gas version. You can see it looks the same, except it's got that big Vroom gas engine in there. This bike's really light, even with the passenger. I ended up with a speedometer that reads kilometers. They pulled a trick on me on eBay. But this bike easily buries that speedometer. Probably about 3/4 throttle, which is 60 kilometers per hour, which I don't know, 40 miles an hour. Probably goes faster than 40 miles an hour. Same drum brakes, same setup, except in back, because of the engine drive sprocket on the left side, I had to go with the caliper brake, but the caliper combined with that drum is plenty of braking for this bike, and these drums last a long, long time, even with the motorized bikes. So you can see I added a little weight, maybe 25 pounds for the motor, and another 6 or 8 pounds for the fuel tank. That's the gas tank. It's actually a motorcycle oil tank that I converted. And, you know, I don't know. It probably holds 3/4 of a gallon anyway. So yeah, you can see the exhaust is, I extended it with a rubber hose to the ground, kind of below that 2-stroke oily exhaust away from the bike. But just a thrill, brings a smile to your face and the people that see you. And like I said, easily 6'2" adult, comfortable on this bike, and you do have the suspension front, suspension rear, and the heavily padded seat. I wanted to keep it authentic looking, so I went with the standard grips. And on these, I'm probably going to go with the thumb throttle. Tried to make it look like the original Stingray Krate for the boys, with the little Vroom engine that you could buy and put on there. So this one turned out nicely too. Learning curve, but I think I got it pretty much all dialed in now. Just need to put a mirror on it. I don't think a bell would do you any good with the engine on there. You don't need it. You probably couldn't hear it. It's not terribly loud, but it's loud enough for them to hear you coming. So that's the new crate style, adult crate style bike that Pedal Chopper has been figuring out and building. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.